Okay, and we're back.
And we're back.
Full transparency, we have in fact tried to film this episode about 4 or 5 times.
Full transparency, this is take 4.
We were going to film it outside in a area that we were maybe allowed to film in a little better, like that was more acceptable to film in.
It was too distracting.
It was too distracting. The weather, it started raining. So now we're filming in here. It's nice. It's quiet. There's no one here.
It's a good little episode.
Less distractions.
Good little episode planned.
Yeah. So today we're going to talk about a lot of things. We're going to try and be less controversial. But to kick it out, we're going to talk about rigging out our cameras. Luke, why do you think you should rig out a camera?
Well, I'm glad we're talking about this because I think being less controversial is good for an episode. Because my feelings have been kind of hurt recently. I mean, for the past 2 weeks,
You guys are harsh.
I'm getting flamed in the comments. I'm getting just a lot of very mean comments. And
Absolutely.
I will say on the past one, we started getting a lot of more support, and that's been nice.
Yes.
Thank you to all of my Peter McCannons out there.
Yep. All us Peter McCannon heads.
Dude, that was probably one of the top comments I've seen so far.
Definitely. Most creative for sure.
But rigging out cameras, it's something that I never thought I would really do because I did video. I mean, I did photo mostly, and I really didn't have a need for any kind of a cage or anything to go around my camera. I was like, why would I do that?
Yeah, it just makes it more heavy. Like, why would I ever do that?
Dude, what are we doing? And then the more that I started doing video, the more that I started realizing the value to it. Because one, like, heaviness is good when you're trying to balance a camera and keep stabilized shots, especially because I don't have many stabilized lenses. And so that was one reason. But then another reason was also just like I saw some photographer mention on YouTube like why he had a cage for his camera, and it was like literally so when he sets it down and stuff, his camera's not getting scratched, the cage is getting scratched. I was like, well, I do set my camera down pretty often, and like I don't want to scratch it up.
Right.
So I was like, sure, like, why not? And then I got a cage, and that's where everything starts. And then it's only just pricing.
Yeah, then
and
it's just a
spending
money pit for the rest of your life, and you'll never be happy with the setup you have.
ever.
But right now, I am pretty happy with the setup I have. So I'm gonna
What's the setup?
kind of explain it. So we're rocking the Canon R6 and the small rig generic cage, not the Black Mamba. And then we have a small rig, about $20 side handle on it with a about $20 clamp on top of that for a battery. And then we got the portable battery with 60 watt power delivery on top of it, powering everything. And then we have it all sat nicely on a Nicey rig 6-inch camera base plate. So basically it's an Arca Swiss plate, and it has about six or eight through holes for quarter 20 slots so that you can screw in whatever. So you could even get like a 15 millimeter rod that goes into a quarter 20 screw that in, and then boom, there's your follow focus without having to have an additional base plate that has 15 millimeter rod clamps. So I mean, it's pretty nice. Plus all my tripods are Arca Swiss, down from my Joby Gorilla Pod all the way up to my big ones. So it's really nice to be able to not only set my camera down on a table, but also just drop into any tripod that I have, because that used to be a real problem for me, and I'd spend hours a week just fiddling with my tripod plates.
How do you have your external, like the battery, is it plugged into a dummy battery in the bottom?
Yeah, it is. So I right now for battery power, I'm using I think it's called Inui or something, battery off Amazon. They're like $40,
Dude,
and they're so good. And
they're goated.
they're 60 watt power delivery, and they also have I think 30 watt power delivery. So I use the 30 watt channel for the power delivery for the actual camera itself. And then I use that into a dummy battery because the dummy battery stops it from overheating as much.
Well, I think I have a little bone to pick with Canon for the first time.
Okay.
I've ever said any bone to
Man,
pick.
I am so ready for this.
And I think my bone to pick with Canon is why are your like LP6 batteries so expensive?
Yes.
I just looked it up on Amazon. If I want to buy one new Canon battery,
$80.
$80.
And that's not even for the newest ones.
Yeah.
Because on, can you pass me my drink real quick? Because on the R5 Mark II, if you want to use the fan attachment, you have to have the newest edition of the LPE6 and H batteries. And dude, they're
That's
like
crazy to me.
$85.
Because but you can buy off-brand batteries like 3-packs for $20 or $30.
Yeah. And you can get like a 3-pack with a charger for like $40.
Yeah, and I'm like, I might sound like ignorant saying this, but I need to know, like, are off-brand batteries bad?
I don't think so. I know some of them don't work with, like, your camera software will be like, hey, now, like, what are you doing?
I had a camera. I have a Canon battery, native Canon, and that screen pops up every time I put it in. It's like, are you sure this is Canon verified? It might like have problems with your camera. And it's an actual Canon battery, so I literally don't know why my camera.
You know what that is? Fear mongering.
I think so.
Lies straight out of the devil's mouth.
And so for those of you that don't shoot Canon, please let me know how much your batteries cost, because I'm gonna need to know if it's $80 across the board.
Sony batteries, I gotta know how much they are, because that could be a buying factor for Sony
for
cameras.
like a Sony A series camera.
Like, what if we switch to Sony
just because of battery?
I'm just kidding. Because here's the thing: now that I've rigged out my camera, look. Oh, okay. They're 78. They're $78.
Yeah.
So it's about even, and I think that's kind of messed up. And I get like they do last a little while.
Yeah.
But it's also like you can get a small rig mini V mount battery for what, $200?
Yeah, and like literally
be
just
super happy. And that has DTAP connection, so you can run everything off.
Let's just say we're big fans of external power now. It's pretty
we
great.
are. And now that we've rigged out our cameras, and a lot of people are like, oh, well, that's just adding extra weight. And personally, I'm starting to really like the extra weight.
Yeah.
Because, well, my back pain is bad. But other than that, I'm really starting to like the balance that it provides in getting rid of the micro jitters that usually happen during my work. And it just feels like such a sturdy rig. There's nothing better than when you, like, are walking with your camera and it's turned off and you can't feel any like jittering or anything.
Yes.
And the reason I say it's turned off is because I'm a noob and I shoot with in-body image stabilization because I run and gun. I don't shoot on real sets because I'm a loser. Otherwise, I'd have an R5C. And
one day.
Yeah,
it's on my hopefully soon.
I mean, dude, you almost pulled the trigger.
I think I'm by summer I might have one. That's all I'm saying.
So here's my thing. So whenever I buy something, I do so much research about it that I know for a fact it would be stupid of me not to buy it.
Yeah.
You seem to do the opposite approach.
I'm pretty impulsive.
So like, how do you decide if you need to buy a piece of gear?
Okay, so let's take my two most recent gear purchases. The first one being a 35mm series anamorphic lens. That was literally because that's what we're shooting on right now, and I just saw Court using it, and I was like, it's so beautiful, and like I love the images that come out of it, and I was like, I want to be able to create it, so I literally just pulled trigger. And it's like, I just saw it, and I was like, I have to have it. Like, there wasn't like a really choice. I was like, you know what? It's absolutely worth it, and I'll use it, and I do use it a ton for a bunch of projects. And again, I only have the 35, so I kind of am mixing it more with footage. I feel like you when you shoot a project, you shoot all anamorphic.
So I actually just finished a video last week on Wednesday, and I shot it entirely anamorphic. So then I had some people helping me.
Did you use any of my 300 shots or no?
I actually didn't. So they were all too tight because I needed them. I needed to crop them to I think 2:4:1 aspect ratio or something. I don't know. I'm having trouble with aspect ratios recently, and they're causing me a lot of grief.
I'm not gonna lie. When I got into the creative field, I was like, I originally chose it because I wasn't gonna have to do math. And recently, in a lot of my projects, I've been having to do so much math.
Like,
especially.
Goodness. Okay, here's my thing. When you get into the world of like Blender, I don't even think you know what that is.
Animation.
Okay, yeah. Okay, good. Because when you get into the world of Blender and like physics simulation, dude,
I've been learning a lot of animation just on like the Flip Nintendo and a bunch of others. I'm trying to start learning how to do it.
Right.
And Blender's on my list to get there, but it's so confusing. I'm not there yet.
It's a really good place to start, though. In my
even some professionals use Blender.
Oh no, so many do.
Yeah,
but
and it's free,
saying
right?
I don't know.
I think there's so. At least a free version.
Yeah, I think like I have a very limited knowledge of like computer generation and like physics simulations and everything, but. Like, I want to learn it so bad. I just do not know. I have so much that I want to learn that I'm scared to pick up something new.
Yeah.
Because it's like, at what point am I just going to become a workhorse?
Well, my problem
that does nothing else.
Yeah. I think my problem is when I start something, it's like I want to go like all in and get really good really fast. And so it's like I have to like have the time to like do that. And so it's like, well, I literally got an iPad so I could start learning how to animate. And I did it for like 2 weeks, and then I was like, I just don't have time because I'm not incorporating this enough into my actual work.
Yes.
And so I think until I find a way that I need to include that in like my projects that I'm doing, I probably won't excel at the rate that I want to excel.
I do want to shout someone out who has incorporated Blender into their workload insanely well. And that's this guy I saw on TikTok who made a edit for Midwest Tennis, I believe, which great tennis company. I bought a racket from you guys not too long ago. And they did a shot and then like clean slated the ball out and everything or whatever that's called, like tracked it out. And then they went into Blender, animated the ball with the logo over it, and then dropped it back down and then did a ripple effect.
That's cool.
And that's a really cool video and it was a really nice behind the scenes video of how to incorporate stuff like that in the workflow. And my whole thing with making behind the scenes videos like that is once you get up to such a high level like that where your workflow is really good, dude, don't be scared to share your behind the scenes stuff because your work is going to be so good and so well done that, dude, who cares if people are trying to replicate it? Because it's not going to be the real deal.
Yeah.
2, it's a compliment. And 3, 99% of people are just gonna be like, "Oh, that's sick. I would hire that guy," and not even be able to try.
Or try it once and be like, nah, never mind.
They can't even try because they don't have the work ethic that you have. Because honestly, shooting and posting behind the scenes is its own beast. That's why every production pretty much has a behind the scenes dedicated team that goes in, films everything.
Yeah, there's even content agencies that literally like were hiring me just to come in and shoot behind the scenes for their productions.
Right.
Because they didn't want to do it themselves.
Like, that's such a beautiful thing because once you're at that high level, like everyone that I know, and I mean, granted, I do know a lot of nerdy people, but they all love behind the scenes work. And I think like sharing your work and sharing like how difficult it is really a beautiful thing. Cause one, it's kind of like, hey, let me toot my own horn for a second, but it's also, oh, let's help appreciate the work that you do. But then also like, don't be afraid to share it. Cause I think a lot of people are scared to share how they do things cause people will copy it. I'm like, dude, 90% of people do not have the work ethic to even try and copy it. And even if they do, like, you already made your thing. Like, your thing has come and gone. It's good. It's out there.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to share, like, what you're doing. That's why I always feel confident in sharing every single detail about my camera setup, like, every single detail. Like, I would stream my editing.
Yeah. Well, that's actually why I bought the Insta360 was so I can wear it on my chest at concerts and shoots, and literally so you can see like my exact process going between what I'm doing on my settings, and then post that for behind the scenes for like all that kind of stuff.
I would literally stream like an editing session because I don't even care. Like if someone literally screenshot and copied everything I've ever done, who cares? Because like 90% of what I do is like just the work behind it.
Well, I also think that's one of the coolest things you get to do like in this field is like giving back to those beginners, like because like we say it all the time, like YouTube University is the best place to learn, and like the amount of creators and videos and tutorials that I watched and learned, like the best thing I could do is hopefully one day like I'll go and create my own so someone else can watch those videos and learn those skills as well. You know, like I remember when I was learning like how to color grade, not even color grading because that's more video, but like edit my presets. Mm-hmm. And I really wanted to understand like colors and curves. And I sat down for like 3 hours with this one YouTuber, and I wish I could shout him out, but I forgot his name. And like he just explained it so well. And like I literally, it starts off like, yeah, I'm just copying what you're doing. And then you slowly realize, oh no, but I actually like it better when I do it this way. Yep. And you create your own style. And so it's like,
and that's where style evolves. And I feel like style comes from two things, and it's experience, but then it's your limitations. And so most limitations that I find are gear based, which is a good thing. But that's the issue is a lot of young people right now in our area that we live in, their parents are just giving them $1,000 to go buy a camera.
Yeah.
And it's like, cool. Your style is not going to develop very fast because you don't have those gear limitations. So like the more gear you buy, your style is just going to shrink and shrink and shrink and just become more generic.
That's actually so true. Cause I remember, because when we started, I literally was on a T7i and then I upgraded soon after the SL3, and all I had was a 50 millimeter lens. And I remember like I was like when like people would show up with these like huge like all these lenses and like nice camera bodies, I low-key like hated them. I was so jealous, but I was also like, oh, like I'll never do that because I'm going to show that you can do it with just the gear that you have. And like that like part of me like still exists because now like obviously I have nicer gear and I have the lenses, but it's like a part of me is still like, no, like I can create whatever I want to But even when we set up this where we're shooting right now, we set it up like two locations, and I was like, this sucks. Like this location sucks. I'm like, no, like we can make any location look decent, and this is
decent,
still a decent look, but it's the best thing that we can make with the space that we had.
Yeah,
and
it's also hard because I mean, when we set out to do this podcast, I mean, I kind of had one main thing in mind, and it's doing it in a separate place every single time. And I mean, that is its own style of its own thing. But the reason it's a stylistic choice is because of the limitations that come with it. Because you have to be, one, allowed to record in the space. Two, you can't just say, oh, I'm going to do it indoor or outdoor every single time. Like, what if weather doesn't permit? Okay,
we were
cool.
supposed to be outside.
What if we can't bring lights to where we want to film? Like, you can't just say, like, oh, cool, well, I'm like, yeah, it would be great if we had our own van to move every single piece of lighting equipment, and we had our own podcast setup of lights that we can just haul around wherever we want. And me and Luke's schedules lined up perfectly every single time, and we didn't live on opposite sides of the Metroplex. Like, those would all be things that are like, okay, cool. But where the style of a piece of work comes out, and I'm not saying like this podcast is art, because it's not, but
well,
I like it. That's where the style
I would say
comes
like
out.
The style and chemistry could be classified as, because you're going to classify what is art, but that's the discussion for another
I mean,
day.
in my mind, this is more of an introspective, or not an introspective look. This is more of like a commentary kind of thing. It's not really an art piece.
Isn't that what art is? A commentary on the natural world, though?
I guess so. But I feel like we're observers of observers. So we're not really art.
Maybe it's postmodern art.
Maybe. Because our whole thing is like...
Did you not look at Joe Rogan and be like, he's an artist? Like, he's an artist, you know?
Yeah, I would say he's a vocal artist because he's telling stories.
Or stand-up comedians.
But in the
artists.
same way, he's telling stories of people who are telling their stories. And so we're kind of doing the same thing in the way that we're out capturing content, but then we're telling the stories of the stories that we've captured. And so that's like one of my main rules with copying stuff, and like don't be afraid to copy things, is like you can't copy like music into your music, but like, or like you can't copy a photo to make another photo, but you can reference a photo in a movie, or reference a movie in a photo, or reference music in a movie, or reference a movie in music. Like those, like when you're crossing genres, that's when it's completely safe and fair game to copy. But whenever you're just like dilly-dallying around and you're like, oh well, I'm just gonna start copying everyone in my genre, like it's just not cool. It's not a good idea.
Okay, you said movie, and I have to bring this up. So I, over the past 2 days, watched the Top Gun movies.
All of them?
For the first time.
Wait, how many are there? Two?
Two. And
Top Gun Maverick is insane.
I just want to say, like, the soundtrack for that first movie has to be one of the most iconic soundtracks of all time.
You know what's really iconic? The SR-71 Blackbird. I did a deep dive into it. That's the plane that they use to go like supersonic.
Oh yeah,
millions of miles
in the second
an hour.
one.
Mm-hmm. Man, I went on a deep dive on that sucker this weekend.
Dude, so but like I was just saying, like the soundtrack, like Danger Zone by Kenny Loggins.
Oh yeah,
I didn't realize that was from that movie.
Here's the thing: Kenny Loggins eats every single time.
So good.
Every time.
Unbelievable.
Nothing wakes me up more than in the morning than a Kenny Loggins song.
Yeah, like it was so good. But then also I will say, because usually like you get this like the second movie and it's like not that good.
Right.
Obviously, I still think the first Top Gun was better, but the second one was still like so good.
I've never felt more like an American than I did after watching that movie.
So good.
That was another one that I'm ashamed that my parents were like, "Oh, you gotta go see this," because remember. I don't know. If you guys have been fans of the podcast, you would know that my parents recommended my favorite movie to me, which is shameful because you don't want to be like, oh, my parents are cool. But when they recommend you your favorite movie, then like there's nothing you can do but be like, oh, I guess my parents are kind of cool and have good taste. This is 2 for 2, where I'm like,
what was the first movie?
La La Land.
Oh yeah.
Top Gun Maverick, definitely not in my top 10. not even in top 20, maybe top 30.
But it's really good.
But it's really, really good. And I'm just ashamed that my parents hopped on that train way before I did. Like, they were out of the station. They had seen it 3 or 4 times.
The reason that I hadn't seen it is because everyone was hyping it up so much.
That's
and
my
I was
thing.
like, I didn't see it for so long.
And it's like, is that a pride issue for me?
Yes, for me it is probably.
Like, do I have a heart issue with the fact that I don't want to watch something
Usually,
because everyone thinks it's good?
When a movie gets hyped up like that, well, I'm trying to think because there's also reasons. Like, I'm trying to think of the most recent movie that everyone hyped up that I went and I saw it and I was like,
Trolls World Tour.
I've never seen any
Just kidding,
Trolls.
I haven't seen that.
A movie I will say that
Despicable Me 4. Was not a huge fan.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure like it's like off the top of my head, but I will say one that I saw recently that most people hated. That I thought was actually decent. Gladiator 2.
I didn't. Okay, I checked out Gladiator 1 from the library. Tried to watch it. Hated it.
You're kidding.
I didn't like it at all.
That's one of the worst things I've ever heard.
No, I know.
That's like watching like The Godfather and being like, eh. Not on that level. The Godfather's way better.
That's way different.
It's still like, I would actually equivalent that to like watching Top Gun and being like, eh.
I feel like
The first one.
Gladiator is just so. It was just too much for me.
Gladiator 2, I think was a little too much because like there was not sharks in the Coliseum, but like.
Okay, maybe I'll have to go rewatch it.
I don't know. Gladiator 1 was like, it's iconic. Like, it's so good.
You know what movie that I've never seen that I deeply regret not watching?
Mm-mm.
Tron Legacy. I've never seen
Tron? I think I saw the first one.
That's the one I'm
That's
talking
with like the
about.
motorcycles, the orange and
Yes.
blue.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
I need to go watch that because I've been seeing. One way I get exposed to movies a lot is TikTok edits.
Yeah.
I love TikTok edits of movies. And Tron Legacy, dude, they had to be. There was something in the water there because they're like. There's just something about those that like it was so far ahead of their time in terms of graphics. It was insane. Also, we're finally getting our Zoom recorder screen a little scratched up, even though I've been taking such good care of it, and it's making me kind of sad.
2 franchises that I've never seen, movie franchises, Terminators, and
I've never seen Terminators either. Or this one's crazy. This one's insane.
oh no,
I have 2 that are gonna blow your mind. Never seen a Transformers movie.
that sucks.
This one's even worse. This one's you will not forgive me. Never seen a Fast and Furious.
That's what my second one was. I've never seen any Fast and Furious.
I know.
I feel like I've been like it's been on my to watch list for so long because there's so many of them.
I feel really bad about that.
Especially the first one, which is supposed to be like good. I don't know when that guy dies and which one.
Paul Walker.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I would actually be
anything
shocked
about
in
the
any of them, but there's just been so many. I'm like, how have I not seen a single Fast and Furious
someone in the
movie?
comments is gonna be like, "Oh, these guys call themselves like film lovers, like and you haven't seen all these movies." And I'm like,
I'm still young. I'm getting there.
it's also like, I don't know. My thing is like, we're gonna make a movie eventually, and then I can finally be like, yeah, I love movies.
Yeah, and I will say I do think like whenever I make one, it will draw on some of my favorite movies. From
Right, which are?
and arcs. My top movies:
Yeah.
La La Land. In no particular order.
He's been practicing this.
We just did this with TV shows, and I'm gonna try and do this with movies. Goodness, that's so hard. Okay, La La Land, Godfather.
Godfather's your number 2,
I'm saying this is my top 5 in no particular order.
but your favorite?
It's in my top 5.
Really?
It's so good.
That's surprising to me.
The story was
Which
just,
one? Part 1 or part 2 or the?
Just the first one.
Oh, okay.
So good. Oh gosh, Avatar.
Avatar's so good.
And people are, some people are gonna hate that one. That's a tough one. I don't know if I can include. Yeah, Hannah Montana, the musical. It changed my life.
The Godfather to Hannah Montana to the musical pipeline is a dangerous one, bro.
So good. And I just gotta get one more from my top 5. I can't put another musical in there. It's gotta be a good movie. I don't know. To be continued. But those are my top. Those are at least top 4.
I don't even think I could drop a top 5 right now if I tried. I mean, I guess I could go off movies that I currently own that are like.
I think I left out a really big one, but
You did that last time
I
with
don't
the
wanna
TV
stall.
shows too.
dude, yeah, I left out a huge one. I saw Your Mother, which one I forgot, and that is definitely my top 5.
Yeah, that's also Severance, bro. Episode 4.
I haven't seen
Like,
it.
dude, you gotta watch it
I
because like
will.
episode Someone on TikTok got a pre-screening of it or something for a critic thing, and they were like, "Y'all aren't ready for episode 3 and 4."
Okay,
It was diabolical.
I just started watching a new show.
What?
And I started in.
Also, we have like 5 minutes.
I started this like a week and a half ago, and I'm on season 3. Yesterday, I watched a whole season because I was taking an online class, and so I literally just had my online class on my computer and the show going on my TV.
Oh my gosh.
I started watching Dexter.
Oh,
Do you know what it is?
bro, yes.
Oh,
Insane.
Have you seen it?
I've seen a little bit of it.
Okay, so I watched season 1, and like the ending of season 1, you're like, oh, this is like, you can't top it. And then season 2 starts out really slow, and I was like, oh, I hate when shows fall off. The ending of season 2, I was literally texting my fiance who's like watching it, but she's behind me. I was like, you're not ready for what's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's insane.
That shows,
highly recommend.
it's very gory. I
It
can't
is.
really handle it.
It is, but yeah.
In terms of crime shows, like if you're like an NCIS person, it's the best one out there.
Well,
like,
because
you can't
if
beat
you
it.
don't know, like the plot of it is basically there's this blood spatter analyst who works for the Miami Police Department, but he's a serial killer who kills killers.
So he takes out the bad guys,
yes,
but it's just so brutal.
which like brings up its whole other thing because like
It's
morally,
like
I
it's
still
like
think it's
it's like
right.
on par with gore wise, like Criminal Minds
Yeah.
and up, because like I feel like so many people that I know have watched Criminal Minds all the way through, like 5
I
times.
started. I didn't finish it.
I'm like, why? Like
I finished
it's like
Blacklist.
daytime TV levels of
Yeah.
crime show. Which I don't watch a lot of TV. I watch like one show at a time, and then there's like years apart
Yeah.
where I'm not watching TV.
Well, because I have to wait for an entire season to come out, which I feel like a lot of our generation does. Like, we don't want to wait a week for the next episode to come out.
No, Severance though, it's so nice because there's no more thrill than finishing an episode and knowing that you have to wait a whole week to know
Really?
what's coming next.
See, if I was watching it, I would just wait for the entire thing to come, and then I'd binge it.
No, you can't, because I've been waiting 2.5 years for the show to come out with the second season.
I guess.
And now me and Morgan are finally caught up to where we're watching the episodes as they come out, because she hadn't seen the whole show.
Okay.
And then we watched it all the way through in like a week and a half because it's not that long. And now we're caught up to where we can watch it together. Dude, it's insane.
Okay, I need to clarify one thing, because some of y'all are probably like, how do we just skip over the fact that guy put Hannah Montana the musical in his top 5 movies of all time? So let me clarify.
That's fair enough.
When I saw that movie, I was probably like 12, maybe, around
Right.
there.
Right.
And I was with my cousins and my aunt, and we went to the movie theaters and we saw it. And we came out of the movie theaters, and I was like, that was so good. And my aunt looks at us, and she goes, guys, we can either go to the community pool and go swimming, or we can go see it again. And all a unanimous vote from like all 8 cousins and me and my brother, let's go watch Hannah Montana again. That's the only movie in my entire life I've ever watched twice in theaters in the same day.
I hope so.
Have you ever done that with a
No,
movie?
that's insane.
Okay, because
I've never heard of anyone doing that.
Oh, okay. With the Star Wars movies, I heard people saw it multiple times in one day and stuff like that. But like that movie, it was
No,
life-changing.
Severance will do that to you. I'll go and watch an episode back 3 times in a row because it's that crazy. There's also this guy called like J-Buck or something on YouTube, and I don't know, his name's like Jared Bucksmith or something. I don't know what his name is. We're still going. We have a few minutes. I'll wrap up here. But dude, bro be dropping the knowledge on Severance like no other, and it is actually insane. Like, dude has a PhD.
I only
in
know like a general
Severance
plot,
Head.
so I don't want to know any spoilers. I just
No,
know
no.
It's like you work and sleep. Right.
Bro, you're gonna have to watch season 1. Like, it's just so insane. You might have to watch the show multiple times because
I've done
it's
that
just
before.
that insane.
Sometimes with books, I have to do that. Like read pages.
Oh, books?
over
Are you
again.
kidding me? Yeah, dude. I've read so many books multiple times.
Yeah,
Just-
especially
they're
like I
just
was
that
reading some
insane.
Tozer books, and like you literally you get stuck on those, and you're like, excuse me, let me go reread the past 3 pages because I just realized I didn't
Exactly.
understand out of it.
All right, we're gonna take our break, and we'll be back in a second.
Okay, so
we're back.
we're usually a tech channel, a photography, videography channel, but we live in Dallas, and so this is a topic that's near and dear to our heart that I feel like needs to be addressed. And I mean, this is kind of old news, like I'm sure y'all know by now.
Yeah.
But I just needed to get it off my chest, and this is kind of the place where I get to do that. It's like my therapy.
That's not a good thing to say.
So the Mavericks traded Luka Doncic, and I literally, okay, I didn't tell you how I found out because it's kind of funny. So I'm off all social media right now. And so I didn't.
Except for replying to people's hate comments.
Except for getting on that. And so I have no access really to like know what's going on. So I wake up to a text from my brother, and he said, "Dude, I can't believe it. Luka's gone." The first thing I did was get on Google and Google, is Luka Doncic dead?
Yeah, right. Naturally.
Him getting traded was not even on my radar. I legitimately thought that somebody shot the man like they did the San Francisco 49ers guy.
Oh my gosh.
And then I was like, no, they traded him. And then I was like, why in the world did he get traded? And obviously now, like, things come out, like, the owners suck, obviously, and they're trying to move it to Vegas. But I saw something, I don't think that's the plan. You want to know what I think?
What?
I saw a really good theory on this. So people are saying that, so if you know anything about, like, the Texas political landscape, this past year we voted if we were going to legalize gambling or not. And these new owners had invested a lot of money into lobbyists trying to pour into the government and being like, hey, like, Texas is going to legalize gambling. And they voted no. And they literally, like, when they bought the team from Mark Cuban, their whole plan was to build a whole new arena with, like, a casino and a resort around it and make Texas a new, like, gambling resort, almost like what Vegas kind of is. And so, but then because the vote came back no, that pushes them back, I think, 4 or 6 years, however long, until they can bring that vote back up again. And so now by trading away Luka Doncic, they can upset Mavs fans to where now Mavs fans are pissed. So the sales probably won't be doing as well. So when the vote comes up again in 4 or 6 years, whenever it is, they can literally basically hold a gun to the Texas government's head and be like, legalize gambling, otherwise we're moving the team to Vegas. So, you know, it's like if you don't legalize gambling, then we're going to move the team. And
how would they move the Mavs to Davis though? To
Vegas?
Yeah.
Because if the franchise isn't performing well and like they're not getting a lot of tickets, then they'll go to the NBA, be like, hey, we want to move it to Vegas because we think we can make more money here. And if that's true, then the NBA will prove it. And so they can basically look at the Texas government and say, if you do not approve, like, legalize gambling, we're going to move the Mavericks. So when the vote comes around and, like, we're voting for president or whenever the next vote is, and there's, like, the little, like, box underneath that's like vote yes for measure 1 or vote no for measure 1, people like me are going to be like, okay, well, if I don't vote to legalize gambling, then I'm going to lose the Mavericks. So that means I'm probably going to vote to legalize gambling.
I don't think that's how that works.
No, like, you know, so if
they should make, like, vote Luka
Did you vote
t-shirts
for president this past? We don't talk about politics, but we're not talking about.
Yeah,
me. Did you?
Yes.
So you know how underneath that, at the bottom, there's like vote yes on measure 1, vote yes or no on measure 2 at the bottom of your ballot.
Yes.
So basically that would be one. Like measure 1, 2, or 3 would be, do you want to legalize gambling in Texas? And so then voters like us would be like, okay, well, not really. But
was that on the ballot this year?
No.
Okay, I was about to say I do not remember voting.
No.
To legalize
but
gambling.
It would
or
be.
Not.
It would be in the future.
Oh, okay.
And so
that's a wild thing to do.
You would basically have to choose: do you want to legalize gambling in your state or lose your beloved sports team?
That's so interesting. I don't even know. Like, okay, here's my thing: is Mark Cuban said he was like shocked.
Yeah, and unbelievable because there's that quote from him like a couple years ago where he was like, "If I had to choose between losing Luka Doncic or divorcing my wife, catch me at my attorney's office prepping for a divorce."
Yeah. I mean, bro, like, I would be so sad, especially since he came on the team, when he was 22?
Yeah.
23?
Like, Mavs fans, like, honestly, even if we win the chip this year, it won't mean as much.
It won't. Without Luka, it's not the same.
I'd rather
and I'm
win
not
and
even
lose
like,
with my
okay,
guy.
listen. I'm not even like a big Mavs fan. Like, I'm not. Like, compared to a lot of y'all out there, I'm not. But everyone knows Luka's the GOAT.
That's
like there's like Dirk and Luka.
Like, respect.
Like that's
and they're so similar.
That is when you think of the Mavericks, I mean Kyrie Irving, you don't think of the Mavericks when you think of Kyrie Irving. Even though bro is nice with it.
Yeah.
But when you think of the Mavs, you think Luka, you think Dirk.
Yeah.
And like that's always how it should be.
And you know what sucks is like when Luka is remembered now, he'll be remembered as a Laker.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I'm ready to see this Lakers run. I don't even care. I'm
low key because I'm saying like I like the Mavs usually, but like I probably was more of a Luka fan than a Mavs fan.
That's fair.
Like,
I mean, I think most people.
I will watch less basketball now. I will watch less Mavs basketball because Luka's not there.
100%. But here's my thing: the Luka trade might have been the best thing to happen for my love of basketball in my entire life. And you want to know why?
No, why?
Because about 80% of my basketball consumption is TikTok edits of basketball.
Yeah.
And there was about 800% up rate in basketball TikTok edits after that happened.
Dude.
So I'm not saying that tragedy is good for my liking of things, but usually when a tragedy happens,
It did shake up the league.
it shakes it up a little bit.
I will
and
say-
I enjoy it more.
If somehow the Lakers go on a generational run with Luka and LeBron winning the chip, it would make my year, honestly. Like I usually I'm like,
That
I don't want
would
the
be
Lakers to
kinda
win the
crazy.
finals, but like if Luka and LeBron James win the NBA finals with
Yeah.
that roster,
Yeah.
it would honestly, for me, it would cement LeBron as the GOAT. It's assuming he keeps playing like it's the same.
And you can't really just be like you can never be like LeBron is not gonna do well.
Yeah.
Like, so
Like-
all right.
That's enough basketball for you.
Yeah.
But
Well, I was gonna go to the bathroom and come back real quick.
oh,
but-
so you want me to just keep talking?
No. Like I was gonna go to the bathroom, take a break, and we'll come back and continue the basketball talk.
Okay. The amount of technical problems
Dude,
we've had this episode.
This episode literally does not want to be posted.
you would not believe
The camera just turned off completely, and I was like, "Hello."
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about editing a little bit because literally right before I hit play on this episode, well, before the technical difficulty, I'm so tired. I had to send someone my work so that I could get hired for a job as an editor, and I just felt so unconfident about everything I was sending them because my color grading isn't what it is now. My edits, like, I don't have a piece that I'm like, okay, this is the best of all my best. You know, like I have ones where I was in the perfect lighting conditions and the colors look immaculate, but I want this different grade on them.
I will say, like, actually, I feel the same way you do, but I have this one project coming up, like, kind of close to spring break. It's a wedding in Nashville, and like I've literally like in my brain created this like masterpiece of how I want it to look. It's like I'm literally going so try hard. Like I'm literally like I think based because I was an idiot and when I didn't realize it was in Nashville like when I originally booked it. So like total profit off this wedding, I'm probably gonna walk away with like $800 after like travel and stay because I'm an idiot and didn't charge enough money.
Right.
But like I was like I don't even care. Like I'm still gonna do my best and like I'm going. Like I've basically my goal is to shoot it almost like a vlog style because I want that to be like my wedding brand, and so like I'm giving like a GoPro to the guys like the groomsmen and a GoPro to the what's the other the bridesmaids, and then I'm doing
What's the other one?
Yes, and then I have like a sit down interview booth that I have where people can come on and get mic'd up and like so I can just have hours of footage like in the which the bride and groom like won't know what people are gonna say, so then in the video I can go back and like cut through like the whole day, but, like have people like talking over it. And it's like this whole plan. Like I'm going so sweat. And
Yeah,
like,
good. My whole thing is like I have days where I've shot really well, but I haven't color graded really well, or I've shot and color graded really well, but I'm not like shocked by my edits. Like the last video I made, I'm not like super hype about the edits, but the color grade and the shots are really good.
The last one you made, I was more excited for like the audio editing. Like I loved the audio and I loved the mix of it with the footage, like the one part where you did where it went back and forth on beat. Like that when you edit to like and you have good audio to me, I'm just like it's like my favorite thing about videos.
I mean that's the thing. Like we always say, good audio is more important than good video. Like you can have horrible audio. I mean we say that our audio probably sounds like garbage to some people, but
honestly it's fine. Like
it's a lazy man setup.
We make it very known on this podcast. Like this is a very minimal edited podcast. Like
like this is our fun thing to do.
I don't want to have to like sweat on this, you know.
Yeah. But so I think would you say I need to go and make like a master edit of
that's one thing I will say. Like one of my classes in college was literally just making a demo reel, so like I just have a portfolio.
I need to make one so bad, but it would actually take like years.
It did. It took me a year.
Yeah, I need to make a demo reel because I literally have so much footage, and I kept all my raws.
Yeah.
Like all my log footage, like all the original files. So
which is so smart because
yeah,
if I wanted to, like, which I honestly am now that I'm saying it, I might like that entire baseball huge event that I shot. I might go back and just make a new video just because I wanted to because I have all the raw footage and I could make something even better than I did.
Oh yeah,
just to show to other people.
I always say like, oh, maybe I'll go and recolor this because a lot of my projects are on a massive time crunch.
I should because I literally colored it with just curve without using the log direct.
Oh my gosh. A lot of my things are like on a massive time crunch. Like I'll have an overnight edit or like I'll work the entire week, like 11 or like 6 to 11. And then like 6 at
This chair's squeaking.
you're going to Act like that didn't just happen.
It was my phone on the leather chair.
I don't believe that at all. Now I lost my point, dude.
You're talking about coloring.
Okay, yeah, but I have a lot of days where it's like I'll work from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. And then at the end of a week of that, I'll have to crank out an edit overnight. Or like within like 2 days. And so it's like I'm not putting out my absolute best work all the time. Like it's really, really good, but I'm in such a time crunch that I can't be 100% perfect how I want to be all the time. I'm not saying I could be perfect. I'm just saying that, I mean, I'm a perfectionist. I want it to be as good as it humanly possibly can be. And so I think I need to go make a demo reel. But I'm horrified at what that's going to look like because my demo reel would have interview audio underneath it because that's how I make my videos. But, like, how am I supposed to... Yeah. I guess I could go, like, tell the story of each video and then overlay the best shots of each video.
Yeah, good.
Oh, man, this is going to take forever. But it's going to be so worth it.
It is. Yeah.
I literally can't imagine. How was your experience making a demo reel? Because that sounds horrible.
It was, I focused on 4 videos. So I focused on, one is like an ad that I made for a company. It was a law firm. One was like a sit down like podcast. And then one was a baseball video. And then the other was like this DBU sports video that I had made.
But you made 4 individual videos?
Yeah, but then for my demo reel, I put them together.
Oh, okay.
And so
I'm thinking like one cohesive story.
Yeah.
It's not 4 different videos.
Oh, okay. So then you'd have to find like a client or a project you're working that's for saying.
No, because I have that.
Yeah, because
But it's just like I would have to connect all those stories somehow, and it's gonna be mad difficult. But it's gonna be so worth it.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Well, yeah, that'd be cool.
I just can't imagine recoloring all that footage after all these years.
Oh my goodness!
Especially like with the enhanced LUT, it would just look so.
It would look good.
It was so good.
So good.
I just can't imagine. I will say the enhanced LUT does horrible with yellows and pinks, which I know yellows are in skin tones.
And low light, it's not beautiful all the time.
That's true. You pretty much have to be perfectly exposed every single second of the day. But I've started shooting for the enhanced LUT. Even though I don't have a monitor, I think I keep it in my mind. And I'm like, okay, this is the LUT that I want to use. So I start using that.
How did you choose that one? Because we both randomly chose that without.
Oh, bro. I spammed them for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
I went through every single one except the film LUTs.
Yeah.
I went through those.
Those
are difficult to choose from, though, because they're all so similar. And I went through and just looked at all of them for like 2 hours and then put one on.
That's funny. We both liked the same one, though.
I like emulsion a lot, but you have to turn it way down. Emulsion is like, it's like a filmy LUT that's like, it crushes, I don't know if it crushes the colors, but it crushes like, it's very like, it looks like milk, kind of. Like it looks like a coffee house kind of deal.
Okay, I feel that.
You have the LUT, like you can just
I
look at it. It looks like here, I'll show you a video that I made with it, but it makes it, and no, I'm not overlaying this because I hate you guys.
We always talk about overlaying it and we never do it.
Oh yeah, no, I'm never gonna overlay stuff. Once we have an editor, then I'll start overlaying stuff. But until then, we're not gonna do that. Also,
I'll describe it in great detail.
Please do. Oh gosh, it's so far back. This is how many videos I made this year. Oh wait, this is the emulsion LUT actually.
Okay, so yeah, it is your typical coffee house LUT.
This is this is emulsion.
Okay.
Let me skip to the end. So it like
okay, I see what you're saying.
It kind
of
like
very neutral, a little flat.
It's very flat. Flat blacks. No. Very flat whites.
Yeah, your
very
black
flat
spot,
whites.
Yeah,
I can't really tell like when people say crushing their blacks, crushing their whites, like all this stuff. It's really hard for me to understand like the fact that I'm crushing white out of my image because it just hurts me.
I love black. I love like in my photos.
Yeah,
like, as a concert photographer, like one thing everyone's like, your photos are so dark, and like that I love.
You need to get an OLED screen. Do you have one
for
like
my monitor?
A monitor?
Yeah, I do.
You do? Yeah, because that's just a different game.
It's so good.
Like once you get an OLED screen and you go from like regular to like OLED and you start editing blacks, it's like night and day.
Yeah, and like that's like what's because a lot of times I'll edit on my monitor, but then like my final edits, touch ups I do on my like laptop, desktop because it looks more closer to the phone screen, and
Right.
most people are going to be seeing my work on their phone, so it's like
Right.
I can edit as great as it looks on this monitor, and then it's like people aren't going to see it like
I'll
that.
always edit things on like I'll edit on my big 2 monitors. Like I'll have my timeline here and then I'll have my project window here. But then I'll go onto my laptop monitor and edit it. And then if I have the opportunity, which I have a couple times, I'll go over to an Apple Pro display, which is like 5K, like massive, and it's just perfect color. And I'll go and color grade on there. And dude,
Yeah.
that is the best.
That's something that I'm wanting to buy as a desktop to edit more.
It was on a standing desk too, so the Apple Pro display, like 5K, and I can have it like right here, so I can like pixel peep every single color and make sure there's no like weird, like I don't know, aberrations or whatever.
100%. What do you think is the Adobe product that you in the Adobe suite that you use the least? They like applies, like don't just say like 3D Stager, because like who uses that besides stagers? But
That I use the least. Oh, wait, I actually do have a good answer. I have been trash about using Media Encoder until this week.
Really?
So I use Media Encoder to run proxies, but to send it exports out, dude, no.
Really?
I've been doing them all in Premiere, and then someone told me, they were like, hey, just send it to Media Encoder. And I was like, okay. And then I did it, and it was I don't know if it was placebo, but I think it was way faster.
I think it is.
And 2, you can still work in Premiere while you
so
do
nice,
it, which
you can
is
edit on other stuff.
so nice.
Yeah.
And it's not that I'm like, oh, mister, I have so much work that I have to send it to Media Encoder. On a rare occasion, I do. But it's not like I constantly am editing like 5 or 6 projects at a time, and I'm like dying for every last second of edit time. Like usually when I hit export, I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to go.
I also just think
like,
my computer
go get
runs
food.
better when I'm exporting through Media Encoder, and maybe it's not actually.
What do you
mattering.
have, though? You have
I don't know. Some Dell thing.
you have an Intel chip?
Maybe. I don't know. It's a nice one. My company, I was editing on like this like.
Oh, no, I'm talking about your personal laptop.
Oh no, I just have the Intel.
Wait, so you edit on a Windows computer?
Yeah, it's awful.
For like Adobe products?
Yeah.
That sounds horrible.
Because all the commands are different, so I had to learn all the Windows commands, which was
gross.
fine. But
And
I mean,
also,
it is a
no
nice
AirDrop.
Trust me, I have to put everything onto an SSD to get from my laptop and then switch it over, and it's like, oh, it's a whole thing.
And how do you get stuff to your phone?
Google Drive. It's a process.
That's the worst. I will say Google Drive on the phone. I've been using it recently because Luke sends me a bunch of reels to post, and so I'll go in and download them on the Google Drive app, and it's honestly not bad at all.
I love Google Drive.
The only issue that I ever run into with Apple stuff is when it saves it to files instead of saving it to your Photos album, because then you can't post it to Instagram from files, which stinks. But we're good.
But yeah, for those of you like, because I feel like I could edit it on a Windows or a Mac. I way prefer Mac because Mac is awesome. And most computer people are like, Windows is way better, but I don't really care. I'm fine being a basic consumer. Give me my Mac. Give me what everyone else.
You can also do so much on Mac. I don't understand. I mean, I get like there's a lot of app limitations.
Like it's not as customizable, but I don't care.
Especially when it gets to gaming and stuff. Oof, you can't even game on a Mac.
I haven't played video games besides my phone because I love Squad Busters, but like an actual video game I haven't played since like Christmas break, and that's because I was like off.
Right.
And so that's like, I wish I had more time to play video games, but honestly, I'm constant like, it's probably a problem, dude. Like, I feel like I'm either working on like fun projects or like work projects 24/7.
I don't think it's bad though, as long as you're resting well. Like this weekend, I actually felt like I was on vacation the entire weekend.
On Saturday, yesterday, I literally like worked on like a class that I wanted to take and watch the show the whole day, and it was like so great. Like,
yeah, to me, that's not like when I'm talking about resting well, I'm like, you have to like go out and do something that like gives you life.
Yeah.
Like I went and played golf with my friend in Morgan, and dude, that was so like, it was so nice just being out there on a perfect weather day, like playing tennis and stuff. Like I feel like getting active helps me rest way more They're like vegging out all day, just chilling. Cause like I was talking to someone and they were like, "Oh yeah, I had such a restful weekend. Like I sat in my bed all weekend and watched TV." I was like, "That sounds horrible."
I'd be so stressed because like I'd be like, I'm not getting anything done. Like to me, I'd be more rested if I'd like clean something at least while I was home or something. You know, like or
Yeah.
like
You know what?
gotten
You should
something-
clean more things.
I'm cleaning my car today. But I will say one thing I've started doing because, like, one of the things that I love about creating, like, why I got into photo and video is, like, I love stories. And so I've literally started writing my first book, which, like, I was already planned. It's supposed to going to be a trilogy. Which I won't
Oh,
get,
wow.
I won't get into what it's about. But I basically, for so long, I've been telling people, like, this book that I want to write. And every time I tell someone, they're like, that sounds so good. Like, you have to write it. And then I'm like, okay, I'll get to it.
We'll pitch it. Let's hear it.
I don't want to pitch it on this podcast. I'll tell you later.
Okay.
But literally, it's one of those things though, because usually like your first book isn't like your best one. So I've been like putting it off and putting it off. Like, no, like I really genuinely think it's such a good idea that I don't want to do my first one because it might not be as good. And then everyone's like, no, like you like have to write it. Like I like want to read that.
Well, you could just write it and just keep rewriting it.
That's probably what I'll do.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, I'm writing book 3 first, and then you'll go back to 1, 2, and then 4. Which like what Star Wars did, and I always complained about it. But like, actually for this, it makes sense. Which I can't tell you about it, but one day you'll hear about it.
Why can't you tell?
Because it doesn't fit with our audience.
No, but we got to. I want to hear about this.
Okay, fine, I'll tell you. No, I don't want it to live like online, because then it's like everyone's like, when's it coming out? I don't have the pressure of like.
No, but you need the pressure.
Okay, so
if we don't have enough people listening to the podcast for people to be pressuring you, so if we do, that's a good thing.
it's like I don't know. I think our audience would like it.
You're our audience, bro. What? You're literally like a carbon copy of our audience.
Yeah, but it has nothing to do with our
Except
audience.
our audience loves Sony, apparently.
Yeah. So
nerds.
They'll basically kill me.
The amount of people who watch every single one of our videos and don't follow us, but we know you're watching them because you comment on all of them.
And you hate us.
You're hilarious. Actually, that's so funny.
No, literally, sorry that we're in your algorithm and you're not in ours. So
that's true. Because I always be prowling. Like, okay, here's one thing. People who say they don't read the comments, you're a liar.
Nope.
You're a liar. There's no way. And I know you're like, oh, well, it's not good for you. I don't care.
Yeah.
I know it's bad for me. That's why I do it.
Yeah.
Well, that's not true. That's not why I do it. I do it because it's enjoyable.
Yeah, it's funny. Even when I get flamed, sometimes I'm like, you know what? That was valid and it was funny.
And there's nothing better than the feeling of when you like get them back with the response, but they were joking the whole time. So
Yeah.
it was like chill.
Yeah.
Like chill. When you realize, oh, it's not that deep, then it's the best ever.
Yeah.
But if you're like internalizing everything, then it's like actually the worst. Like,
100%.
cannot get worse for you. It's like scoring your score in golf. Like yesterday, playing golf, I stopped keeping score, had way more fun.
Dude, so I worked at family camp a couple of years ago, and I had this one family that came. And so basically, on your off day, you get to go with your family wherever they go.
Mm-hmm.
And they went to this golf course, and they were pretty they're pretty wealthy. And so they rented the entire golf course for the whole day, every tee time. So I don't even know how much that costs at a Colorado golf course, but like, okay.
Oh my gosh.
And so we were going, like, do you play golf? And I was like, yeah. Like, do I? Like, a little bit. Like, I'm not good.
Yeah.
Their kids are like 5, 6, and 8 or something. The 5-year-old
They're just
beat me.
crashing on you.
They're so good because they've started these kids from like when they were like.
But
2.
how? Like I was watching a 5-year-old play the other day. They can't even swing the golf club hard
These
enough.
kids were cracked. Like obviously they can't hit it that far, but like exactly where they wanted to go. And I was just like,
gosh,
I'm like out here like missing the ball on my swing, and I was like, oh my gosh.
that's devious. I was ripping it with the driver yesterday, like really good long drives, but I hadn't played in about 40 years. And when I play, I usually play pretty hard. Like I'll go out for the entire day, or like I'll spend a dedicated day playing. Dude, I was ripping them straight to the right the entire time, and then I corrected my slice, or I don't know if it's a hook or a slice, but I corrected going to the right, and then I was money on off the first tee, but then I missed like 7 putts in a row. So like I really got to work on my putting game, because that is where it all fell apart.
Yeah.
And yesterday I accidentally used the clubs. I used my irons backwards for
I wouldn't even know. Honestly.
a good portion. I was like, shoot, wait. I like totally forgot that 9 was like not the farthest one, which actually served me well, because the one shot that I was playing at 2 or 18 in flower mound.
I want to go play on the Wii. I want to play Wii golf now. That's
we're
my
running up. I got my Wii at home.
Let's go. I have my Wii home.
Let's do it.
Okay.
I thought we were going to my house though.
I don't care.
Okay, we'll go to my
But my
house.
Wii system, I feel like is better.
Dude, I want to go to my house. We always go to your house.
Fine, we can go to your house.
Okay, we always are.
Because you have that one game too.
I have Nintendo Switch
The Boomerang
Sports
game.
too. Oh, Boomerang Foo. Oh man, we're about to have a blast over this. It kind of feels weird making plans in front of people and not inviting them, but
Y'all can come too. Here's the
no,
address. I just
no,
doxed you.
no. Okay, that is something that I don't really want to talk about this on the podcast, but like, I can't say that because I don't want people to be like get the idea, you know.
Yeah.
I don't want to put people's ideas in their head, but basically, it has something to do with the fact that we switch places every single time.
Oh, yeah. You'll never find us because we're always somewhere new.
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't know if that's how that works.
Yeah. So put a GPS tracker on one of our cars. Maybe you can catch an episode live.
Please don't. Please don't. Please don't. Please don't. Eventually, we are gonna go live though.
Yeah.
We've got to. Like we've got to.
We're going to where was it that guy wanted us to go? Downtown suburb of Dallas.
Hills. Oh. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
But I don't remember. It's like the Arts District.
Deep Ellum.
Deep Ellum. There you go.
Are we?
I don't know.
Thought we already turned that down.
I don't know.
Privately.
I want to do a live episode from the ball in Dallas. Can we do that?
Oh, Reunion Tower?
Yeah.
That'd be sick. I want to do a live episode where we just edit our old stuff.
That'd be fun.
Or like a series of live
Oh,
videos
but yeah, just a video. Not
where
an
I make
episode,
my
but-
demo reel. That's my thing. It's like should we open like a Patreon or something where we
I think we could even release stuff on this YouTube channel though. Like just turn the podcast into a playlist, but still release other videos. on
Okay,
it.
yeah. Maybe I'll start doing that. Maybe I'll just start going live while I edit my demo reel and just have
Yeah.
stream the entire thing.
Might as well.
That would be so difficult.
Catch us on Twitch at Court and Luke in the Wild.
Well, it'd be on YouTube. I guess we can make a Twitch. I'm going to start that up. I'm going to make that happen today. But, yeah, go follow us. I'm going to start going live.
We could do that. You'll never know which one of us is going live.
Yeah, you'll never know. We'll go individually. Because my other idea was once we hit the, the monetization limit where people can join our account, I was thinking we just upload random one-off things of us. Like, I have this book, and it's called 3,000 Things About Me. And it has 3,000 questions. And I was thinking we each have the same setup. So, well, I guess you don't have the Zoom recorder.
I can get one.
You can get one, though. And we both just sit down individually and just answer the 3,000 questions and upload them.
That'd be funny.
That way, because a lot of people watch this are like, I don't know, they're like friends, family members, but then also people who like enjoy us as people, not just a bunch of nerds who hate Sony.
But we love you.
Yeah, right. And so I feel like you guys might want to get to know us, especially if you're willing to pay like $1 or whatever
$1 a month,
Yeah.
$1 a day.
for the join button on YouTube or wherever that is. But I don't know, just ideas. I feel like I have a lot of ideas and no time to get them done, but I also have no motivation to do some of them. Like the demo reel, I do have motivation to because I know it'll be really good for me and I'll be really proud of it when I'm done. But things like the book, things like where I have to go through my old stuff, it gives me a little bit, I wouldn't say anxiety, but it's like a looming task that kind of drives me up a wall. I really don't enjoy the thought of going through my old stuff.
Yeah.
It's like watching yourself on TV. Like we both watch this podcast all the way through.
I have to edit reels.
Yeah. Does it hurt you to watch it back?
Not as much anymore.
I really like watching it.
It used to. Because now it's almost like it's like a Tuesday morning thing for me. That's when I'm driving into work.
Yeah, I listen to it while I'm driving just to check and like make sure the audio worked and everything and make sure like the upload was fine and all this stuff.
Dude,
And-
this red is going to look so good in the enhanced LUT.
Bro, it actually is. You're so right. I will say the one thing about the enhanced LUT is it really draws out the differences in our faces.
Yeah, I'm a very red man.
And I'm a very white man. Like if you look at the last episode, we were pretty overexposed.
Yeah.
But not like an unrecoverable amount. Like we weren't peaking at all, so all the information was still there. But I kind of left it turned up so
Yeah.
Luke wouldn't be as dark looking.
So dark.
And bro, my skin looked flawless, but it's because there was no data, because it was blown out a little bit. But yeah, that was funny. All right, let's cover one last thing, and then we'll get out of here. Any Super Bowl predictions?
So let's come out after the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you. So I'm a bit Cincinnati Bengals fan. Been since I was in first grade. So I'm debating on the Super Bowl because, on one hand, I hate the Chiefs. Frick the Chiefs. I want you to lose. But on the other hand, the Bengals are the only ones to ever beat the Chiefs in the playoffs. So if the Chiefs win, then it kind of makes the Bengals look better because we're still the only ones to ever beat them. So it's like I don't want to root for the Chiefs, but like maybe. What would you say?
I have no allegiance. I am excited to go get myself some wings. I think I'm gonna get wings after this. And yeah, I really have no plans.
Do you think Wingstop makes so much money today on Super Bowl day?
Oh, guaranteed.
So much.
The amount of wing platters that go through that place.
Yeah.
Dude, it's going to be heaven on earth. But yeah, I really love the Monday and Tuesday 70-cent boneless deal there. Bro, I'd be eating that up.
Heck yeah.
I love Wingstop. Yeah, I have no allegiance. I honestly didn't even know when the Super Bowl was. I had to Google it.
It's usually on for like the weekend of freedom.
Yeah.
Which is why I was glad it wasn't, because
I was too. And with 2 weeks in between, one week.
Yeah.
1 week in between. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, Morgan was like, are we going to watch the Super Bowl? And I was like, I mean, maybe if you want.
Yeah, like I'm not really, honestly, like I'll just watch a review of the commercials on YouTube after. Like,
yeah,
so
I'm gonna watch the best of.
Yeah.
And then obviously I'm gonna watch halftime performance because that's so entertaining.
That will be a good one this year.
Like no matter what, the halftime performance is always entertaining. What was the one like a few years ago?
Dr. Dre.
That one was pretty good.
They've all been for the best. We had a couple of really.
Did we have a Dolly Parton one?
I don't think so. But not recently, at least.
Or
we had Rihanna, Dr. Dre, and I don't remember who it was before that.
Dude, I don't know. The one thing I do remember is Chris Stapleton bringing the heat on the national anthem.
I don't know. I wonder who's doing it this
Good
year.
Lord. I don't know. I
Probably
really
Jelly Roll, I bet. That's my prediction.
Okay. Let's not get into that. Jelly Roll making Christian music.
He is?
He made it. He's making a song with like Brandon Lake or something.
I could see it.
I don't know if that's okay though, because he's not a Christian.
He's not?
I mean, I doubt it.
Well, I saw Jelly Roll talking about on a podcast like what he believes, and it wasn't like great.
It wasn't Christianity.
He thought it was.
Oh
it wasn't,
gosh.
You know, and then
okay, we're not gonna get into that. All right, we'll see you guys.
Okay.
Look out for us. We're gonna be going live soon. Gonna be editing our stuff live. Goodbye. It's time to go play Brawl Stars or whatever.
Come on.